Good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, I had a lot of requests about some royal blue apples I did, so I have a chance to do some more, and I want to make a quick video this time. You just want to make sure you have all your supplies. So all I'm doing is 6 apples. So I have my 6 apples right here. You can still see a little sap on them, but I want to wipe those down or whatever. And then I have my wooden sticks and my silver straws that I'm going to be using. I have my white food coloring from Hobby Lobby. I use Hobby Lobby and Wilton White. Those are the only 2 whites that I use. Um, Now, it doesn't matter what brand of color you're using, but I'm using this, if you guys can see, oh, this light is terrible. It's a navy blue Wilson's, and I got this from Walmart. So if any of you guys ever shopped at Walmart, you know exactly what food color I'm using. You know, it's hard with this light, but this is a royal blue icing color from Walmart. Like I said, I'm only doing 6 apples, and they're small, kind of small, so I'm using my 3-1-1 recipe, which is going to be a cup and a half of sugar, a half a cup of water. I'm gonna go ahead and add that, and a half a cup of carrot syrup. And I like to do my liquids first because it helps mix up the sugar. And you want to make sure you get all your carrot syrup, because if your recipe calls for a half a cup or a whole cup, you want to be able to use exactly just that. I know you won't be able to get all of it, but you definitely want to get as much as you can. That's why I have a glove on when I do this part. And if I forgot, you also make sure you get your cup of water. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this in right quick. And like I said, it's easy. If you can see, I don't have any of the sugar along the walls of the pot. That's why I add my liquids first. If you do it the opposite way and add your sugar and then add your liquids, you'll see the difference in what I'm talking about. So yeah, I like to add my liquids first. Now sometimes I'll forget and I'll just put it all in the pot. But you definitely want to make sure you go back and scrape your walls down, because you don't want your sugar to crystallize and possibly mess up your whole candy mixture. And I don't want to forget about, I use this vanilla extract, Wilton's brand, and I use the clear vanilla because a lot of times the brown one, it alters your color. Whatever color you're trying to use, it alters it. So you're going to end up using more white to get the color you need. So I like to use the clear vanilla. And I'll just drop a couple of drops in there. Matter of fact, I can do it now. Since I'm doing a half a pot, I can go ahead and add my vanilla now. And that's all you need. And we're just going to let that cook up. Now, because I've been doing this for almost 3 years, I don't usually put this in right away. I'll wait till my candy cook up some, and then I'll put this in. But basically, all you want to do is make sure this silver part, gray part, is the only thing. This part is the only thing that's in the candy mixture. You don't want it to touch the pot because it'll read faster, and you know you'll be using your mix before it's time. So I'm going to clean these apples and we'll be right back. Alright, so basically I just take and wipe my apples down good. Want to make sure you get all the sap that's off. That's why the 48-hour process is what I prefer, and definitely what I would the kind of information that I would pass on. Because by the time your 48 hours is up, all of your sap has been released from your apple. So you don't have to, and I'm going to show you guys the difference. I don't know if y'all can see with this light. This is the one I just wiped down. This is the one that still has the sap on it. So you'll see, excuse me, you'll see how shiny it is and how dull this one looks. And half a batch of candy, it cooks faster than a full batch, so you definitely want to keep your eye on it. And I usually make sure all of this stuff is already done, like all my sticks in my apple and apples being wiped down. So I'm just basically waiting on my candy mix. So already we're about to reach 200. So I'm gonna kind of speed this up a little bit. And I put my wooden sticks in first, and then I put in my straws. sausage straw. I'm gonna have to trash that and get another one. Alright, so now what I'll do, show you guys if you can see. What I'll do is I'll go, if you can see a little bit of juice, I'll go and clean that up and wipe my apples down one more time before I get ready to dip them. And it's not as much juice, but you know, some juice will seep up from the top. On here, there's no juice, and that is one of the reasons why I like using those wooden sticks, because the corners on them, it actually keeps the juice from rising back up, if that makes sense. Versus if anybody on here does candy apples, the white ones that you see in Walmart that are kind of like this, but it's completely solid inside. When you beat those in, you ever notice how the juice rises up and it'll continue to rise up? So that's the reason why I like using those wooden strewers. I'm gonna light this off and see what we got. Okay, so right now we just passed 200. Usually it'll cook slow, kind of fast, well steady, until it gets to about 250. After 250, you definitely don't want to move from by the stove, because the candy does start to cook a little faster. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're right at 300. I'm gonna go ahead and take my candy off. And again, this is what I use. This is a Hobby Lobby white. I actually ordered this from offline. That's why it's $5.59. It's just hard finding white in stores. I got this white off of Hobby Lobby website. I use this and I use Wilton's white. Those are the only two whites that I use. And I'm using, if you couldn't see it in the first video, this royal blue Wilton icing from Walmart. So if any of you guys ever shop in Walmart, you'll know exactly what kind of icing I have. I mean, coloring I have. So what I just want to do is drop a couple whites. So that was 3 drops of white, and we'll go back and add more if needed. Come on, give it. I want it kind of cloudy. Now make sure it's a little darker than usual, but it's not burnt. And all I'm going to do is just add some blue. Oh, excuse me. Hopefully this is enough, being that it's only a small amount, but I believe I'm going to have to add some more white. Now this is the royal blue that I wanted. And as you can see, my spoon is purple and you can't see the spoon, so the candy is just right. And what I'm doing is, because it got a little thick quicker because I set it on this cold stove, I'm just going to put it back on a low heat for a second. And I want kind of like a marble effect, so I'm just going to add a couple of drops. I'm looking at my mix, you guys. I hope I have enough to do on these 6 apples. These are actually bigger than I thought, but you'll just scrape it a little bit across the bottom of the top of the pot. Because you always want your first impression to be your best impression, so you don't want to have all of the candy all over everywhere at the bottom. I'm sorry, y'all. know y'all can't see, but you always want to make sure you tilt your part. I probably should have had my camera on the other side. You just want to scrape it real soft. You don't want to take all the candy off the bottom. But as you can see, oh, we got a little bubble. One little bubble at the bottom, but as you can see, alright, so we're going to pray this is enough to do the last one. Didn't really realize these apples were this big until I started dipping them. So I probably would have used the 411 recipe, but cut it in half. So that would have been 2 cups of sugar. And still half a cup of water, half a cup of carrot syrup. So let's make some magic, get this last apple done. And you're going to be very careful not to burn yourself, because I burned myself once. It wasn't too bad, but oh my gosh, that candy sticks to you, so it's very painful. So yes, we were able to do. I just want to kind of even out with it. Certain spots that touch the pot. Oh, just a second. So as always, you can see yourself, you can see me, you can see my whole kitchen, you can see my hand holding the pot. Oh, well, I want to forget about that. See what happens when you run out of candy? You get it all covered and then the bottom is naked. So we'll fix that. And voila. So what I do next to time, how long before I put them in my bag, I have the fan on. I'll turn the fan on. Put water in my pot because I know where all my bags are. It only takes a second for me to go and grab them. And this is how I time when I put my apples in my bag. Because yes, they're still warm, but you don't want to wait too long because they will definitely start getting sticky. Turn this off. I'll show off the apple again. Bottom completely covered. Make you see a little bit of the white. I didn't put too much, so you can see a little bit of the white. Alright, so I have these bags you can use. You get half a bag. I got these from Dollar Tree. You get 40 bags for $1, not bad. Or you can get these, the regular long size bags from Walmart, online. Basically anybody that sells them. Michael's, Party City, Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to show you guys the difference in the bags. I've been on in the small, but I think I'm going to use the tall bags. And I'll basically start off with the apple that I dipped first because it is the coolest. I think it was this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the bag. And again, it's still warm, but it's not hot. So what I do is set that in the bag. And I let them sit for a few more minutes. I don't tie them up because, like I said, they're still hot. So you don't want to tie them up and trap all the heat inside. And as you can see, it's not sticky. So what I'm gonna do is show you guys how to make your apples look more presentable when you use the long bags. So I'm gonna stop this and I'm gonna make another video. Let me give these a second, about a couple more seconds to cool off. It's 11:49. These are supposed to be picked up at 12, so I'm gonna stop this for a second. I wish I could. All right, so it has been about 3 minutes. So I'm going to show you guys real quick how to do the bows. And of course, I still have my paintings on my house is cool. So there are different ways to cut your ribbons. It doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, cut perfect. But so to use a smaller bag, what you want to do is gather it up, and I twist mine. You just take and place your ribbon on it. Make sure you got a good grip. And I just spin my apple, but please be careful not to drop it. And I'll cut that excess twist side off. But this is one you guys can see when you use your shorter bags. And this is the next one. Now I see when a lot of people use these tall bags, they'll go here. So you have your apple and you have all of this stick. I mean, it may be okay for some, but for me, I really don't care for the look. So what I'll do is, and again, you can see my apples are not sticky. They're not sticky. It's a nice movement. So what I'll do is, I'll pinch the top. And same turning method. Just be careful not to drop the apple. Alright, and these are your two looks. You want to use the short bag or the long bag. But this is how I prefer to use my bags. Alright, so I'm going to turn this phone off and wrap these up. We got a few minutes before the customer gets here, but this is it. You still have a pretty nice little beater bag to use.